Hello there. I'm here to show you a wonderful place.
Oh, my name's Fox Nine, so good night, but Fox. This match is right. Godzilla's radiation, which also, like, by God, like a Godzilla Fallout crossover would be amazing. By God, imagine like I guess in Monsterverse it probably wouldn't happen because the Kaijus would have consumed all the radiation like immediately after the bombs hit. Being the case. Also, I was looking for my Pit Boy. Couldn't find it. I think it's still in Texas. Hopefully, I can get all my rest of my stuff soon. But I for the last few days, me and my mother have been watching Fallout. Like I originally started, like I watched the first 3 episodes. I told her about it. She saw the commercials, like I want to see that. So me and her have just been watching it like 2 episodes a day, kind of thing. And I didn't know Walter Goggins, I believe that is his name, is in this. And also, like, here's the thing. There's, like, there's so many people that, like, 100% could play a cowboy. And it's just funny that, like, in the show Justified, they got 2 perfectly good characters who could play the cowboys, one being the good guy and bad. Like, I can't remember his name. But it's the guy who's the sheriff in The Mandalorian. He's the sheriff in The Mandalorian and or the constable, I can't remember. I think he's the sheriff in that where he has Boba Fett's armor at one point. Like, that was the main hero in Justified. Then you have this guy who's always the bad guy. And this I really like because he's not, the thing is, like, I want to say, like, he's not, like, because the thing is, like you can look at it like, yeah, he's kind of supposed to be the bad guy in some sense, but also I'm looking at him like, I never got that feeling of it. I always felt that he was playing the hero. And that's the thing, too, because, like, he always plays the villain, whether it be a Western or, like, Justified, at least a modern type of Western or whatnot. Like, he's always the bad guy. He's always the villain. Even in MCU, he was the bad guy in Ant-Man and Wasp. This man is a badass. And he plays the Cowboys. He plays a perfectly good. Let me watch the trailer and then we'll get into it. But he plays a good guy, really, like a classic, like you could tell, like, he plays an actor who plays a cowboy, and eventually he becomes a cowboy when the fallout happens and he becomes a ghoul. Anyways, let's just begin in 3, 2.
A veritable Camelot, the nuclear age. Not made by God Almighty, but the working man.
You can be a hero by purchasing a residence in a Vault-Tec vault today. Because if the worst should happen tomorrow, the world is going to need you to build a better day after.
Please stand by. I love the idea of vaults. It's honestly, like, an interesting idea, like,
should be important to everyone.
These underground places
To come up to the surface one day and restart
that are made for. Hold on.
Can you tell me what's happened in the last 200 years?
Holy shit. You're an actual vault dweller.
I am.
I thought all you dipshits were dead.
Westworld director. That makes sense.
What you're doing is insane.
Hopefully I don't shit the bed like Westworld did.
It isn't like the vault out there. It's big.
Welcome to the apocalypse.
I've had a rough week. Practically every person I've met up here has tried to kill me.
I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy I didn't see this trailer because that was such a ginormous twist.
You come from
Well, Dan, I knew something bad was gonna happen.
of rules, of laws.
You should not be alone.
Why did you join the Brotherhood?
To hurt the people who hurt me?
Can I also say, I really love this armor. Like, here's the thing. Like, I already saw Power. Obviously, I played a little bit of 3. I played a little bit of 4. I just got. Well, I have had New Vegas. I've had New Vegas. I just never played it. I might do that on stream at some point. But by God, is this like armor so badass. And I really like it in this too, because it's practical effects, 100%. It's a practical effect. I mean, the only time it's not practical is when he's flying. But there's a practical effect the entire time through. And it looks really good. Like, sometimes it looks really clunky and it obviously looks like a suit. But also in that same note, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of how that would look. Even like playing Fallout 4, it kind of looked like that a little bit. Because I was playing a little bit earlier and I was like, yeah, like,
People are going to come after you.
yeah, badass.
Ain't much stage cleanup here, Volty. Well, now that is a very small drop in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
On April 11th.
Look out at this wasteland. Looks like chaos.
That suit is so
There's always
badass.
somebody behind the wheel.
The end of the world is not what used to be.
What is happening here?
Everyone wants to save the world. They just agree on how.
God.
There you are, you little killer.
This man is a fucking actor. Holy shit. All right. So if you don't know what Fallout is, quick synopsis. Before the world ends on 2077, if it doesn't go cyberpunk, it goes nuclear. Which is really funny. That's like literally Cyberpunk 2077 is, the setting of, Cyberpunk. And then also on 2077 is when the bombs drop for Fallout. But the timeline is very different because I don't think Cyberpunk ever went through a apocalypse where Fallout, pretty much, I'm not sure exactly because I'm now just learning about like lore and everything. I'm watching a bunch of shit ton of videos and stuff now. That's how it happens. Sometimes like I play the game okay, fine, whatever. I didn't know about like the Chinese taking over Alaska. Didn't know that I just thought oh okay, this is like steampunk where they just instead of learning electricity they learn all nuclear stuff. And it turns out no. As far as I'm concerned on that, part I know. Chinese took over Alaska for resources, and the oil fields there. America said, you're not taking our land, but we have no oil to power our shit, or gas to power our shit. And so they're like, wait, what if we went nuclear? And then they make nuclear power packs, which then put into power armor, which are these badass suits. These badass motherfucking suits. And pretty much the world lives off nuclear power, but there are still resource problems going on. There's still massive resources problems going on with limited resources. Hold on, let's stop at okay, it's gonna be right.
To save the world, they just.
There we go. It's. I'll move that a little bit that way, but I'm trying to think. But pretty much resources happen, and spoiler, and pretty much bombs were dropped apparently, and while all this chaos was going on with the idea of resources and all that stuff, and people saying it's nuclear, they're it's gonna become a nuclear war. In a nuclear war, Vault-Tec comes up and goes, hey, we're gonna make vaults underground, miles underground, to the point where, those rich and powerful, yeah, they're gonna, you all can, buy us place in the vaults and get on in there. And we find out later on they gave everyone else, Plan D, which is a pill that tastes like banana, and you eat it and you die. In other words, if you didn't have enough money for a vault, you could just kill yourself. I was like, okay. And pretty much bombs hit. People ran into vaults, and it turns out, hey, Vault Tech not only is using vaults, like Vault Tech, yes, it was used to quote unquote save humanity, but also, you're the product also. You paid to be the product because you are then, depending on the vault, put into different tests. Some tests were better than others, or some were just control tests. We're put into tests. And for the next 200 and something years, well, depending on the vault, you probably went through some version of a test or something like that until you were eventually released. What was Vault 1-1? What is Vault? Vault in Fallout 3. What was the prototype? No, not prototype. The test for that vault. I actually can't remember if there was one. But or maybe that was my control vault. But yeah, pretty much that. And usually how these games go, you as the main character live in a vault, and you exit the vault, and then you are then shown to a new wasteland, depending on where the location you're at, and you then have to fight your way through different factions, such as the Brotherhood of Steel, who are known for these badass armored suits, and also have this whole night thing going on, which I love. Then you have other stuff like certain like the American government. That's not the government, called the Enclave, which they're actually the people who are running the shit, and the ones who are, I guess, are Vault Tech. They're the ones that are actually running the world now, I think. And there's a bunch of things going on there, but yeah. And pretty much this follows that same thing too, where usually there's some kind of big thing that happens that make you leave the vault, and in this case, like Lucy here would be the main character, because you are following 3 different main characters. You are following Lucy, you are following let's see here, you are following Maximus here, and you are following the Ghoul. Which I like. Here's the thing. Like I used to say this a bit ago, but like I love when you can mix genres together. Like, mind you, this isn't probably not in this sense, but like if you could have a giant robot fighting a demon, like and make it work, you're probably a good writer. You probably make it good. I love this because it mixes 3 things together. Or like, and if it's something you mix it well enough, it's probably a story that I'm really gonna like. I love this because it mixes three things I like all together, and it's really good. It mixes like sci-fi futuristic things, Lucy. You mix in knights and like Brotherhood and like, you know, stuff like that, Maximus, and you mix in old westerns and stuff like that too. You got the Ghoul, and it's really, really interesting watching this happen because the Ghoul is obviously played by Walter here, who is a old Western cowboy actor who plays like, you know, a good lawman and all that stuff. But then like eventually like it turns out, I guess the director was a commie, and like the movie he was playing in, they changed it up to where he's pushed the edge, starts killing people. And my God, like the opening of this show is actually like freaking phenomenal, because you see as like he's at a birthday party and people are like, why is he here? Like, isn't he like a big time actor? He's like, well, he has to pay for alimony because I guess he got divorced from his wife, who he does have a kid with, which I think you see her for a second.
surface one.
Hold on.
Kind of rough. Every person who's tried to
Broken.
You should not.
The hood to hurt me.
They're going to come after.
Let me see.
Ain't much stage cleanup here, Volty. Well, now that is a very small drug in a very, very large bucket of drugs.
The next thing I'm gonna watch is like the lore on ghouls.
Look out at this wasteland. But there's always somebody behind the wheel.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was her. His daughter, pretty much. He's at a birthday party, all this, and they like, hey, why don't you give a thumbs up there? And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And pretty much the daughter asks, why not? Why don't you do it? And main reason is because he worked for Vault Tech in a sense. Like after like his wife actually works for Vault Tech and convinced him to help sponsor some Vault Tech things, which was the Vault Tech stuff, and even like design. And the thing is, like, they made him a major part of the marketing to the point where Vault suits, which are blue and yellow, are based actually off of his outfit of the blue and yellow. And like he does like a whole thumbs up thing, picture of him doing a thumbs up, saying like, yeah, Vault, Vault Tech and all this stuff. And pretty much he's the basis for the Vault Boy. He's not blonde, but whatever, it's fine. He's the basis for the little Vault guy you see from all Fallout things, which I love that little detail. Because that's the thing too, like, I'm trying to think, like, don't get me wrong, I like Star Wars and I like Starkiller, but it's really weird how like the Force Unleashed movies or games, when like, yeah, Starkiller is the rebel symbol, Starkiller's family crest. All these other things that happened, Starkiller was the one that did them all. And he's the one that set all this up and all this. And I'm like, really? Like, there's like that's like very like Mary Sue OC shit right there, man. Like, don't get me wrong, Starkiller's a badass, but come on now. But I like this where like, yeah, we don't know what inspired the Vault Boy. It's him. I like that. I like that idea more, and I like that idea. And you slowly follow as, we find out the ghoul, like when he's at the birthday party. Oh, I'm sorry. When he's at the birthday party and the daughter asks, why don't you want to do the thumbs up? And he goes, oh, because, one, he didn't say specifically because of his job thing, but he also said, like, well, back in the military, they said, like, if you see a bomb, hold up your thumb to it. If it's bigger than your thumb, if it's smaller than your thumb, run the other way. And the daughter's like, and if it's bigger than your thumb, let me go get you some birthday cake. Let me go rustle you up some birthday cake. And while that happens, daughter looks, you just see the flash of light, everything goes silent, and she goes, and I'm like, oh shit. And pretty much, and she goes, is it my thumb or yours? He looks, he's like, oh shit. He's like, well, no, that's a fire. Then you see the mushroom cloud, you see the shockwave, which is the most scary, insane shit ever. And I'm like, oh god. Grabs his daughter, gets on a horse, drives off. Everyone just starts fighting each other to get into like their nuclear bunkers and shit. And pretty much, I'm assuming at that point he must have headed to try to get into a vault. Then, and pretty much it blocks off of there. Then we follow Lucy, who's gonna become the breeder of her vault, because her vault there's three vaults and they're connected, which is really weird because usually the vaults are just separate and often different places. But 3 vaults connected, and they plan to do a trade with another vault, with Vault 32, because they're Vault 33, and they want to trade they want to do a trade of like weed and stuff like that for a breeder, so this girl can stop banging her cousins. Which I'm just like, yeah, I can see that happening. Because, 200 years stuck underground. But still. And And at least they go like, it's weird. We're not going to have kids like this because our kids are going to come out with webbed feet. We're not doing this. We're going to have someone else because that's not my cousin. And pretty much they come in, spoilers. And like, I think as soon as I saw them and looked how dirty, like they kind of looked and scruffy looking, I'm like, yeah, those are raiders. And yeah, they were. They kill a bunch of people. Lucy fights them all off. Also, Lucy trained in a bunch of things, which it makes sense. You're underground alone. You're underground and like you have barely anything to do. Yeah, you probably pick up things like tech and fighting and all this other shit. They come in. They blow things up. They take her dad and like he's like she goes up to like the blonde pregnant lady and goes like, do what you do best, run. And Moldover leaves with the dad, setting this girl off to leave her brother and her cousin behind to go out to the wasteland and find her dad. And to find her dad while inside the vault, her brother is trying to figure out the mystery of things that are going on there, like Vault 32 that the Raiders came in through. Like, did the Raiders kill these people here? It turns out, nope. The Raiders had like just came into a dead vault. The people in there were all dead. There's skeletons like scratching at the door for Vault 31, going like, we know what's in there. Let us in. Eventually, they find out different different dark mysteries. Eventually, like the bodies are hidden afterward and all this shit, and everything's painted over. Then we skip over to the neck. Then we go to Maximus, who's a squire in the Brotherhood of Steel, who are just these people that try to find old world relics. And apparently at one point the Knight Titus, who this guy gets assigned to after his friend gets hurt, and Maximus takes up being the squire, which is the dude who carries a bunch of shit. And Titus eventually gets killed, and Maximus takes the suit of armor and is like, I'm gonna be a knight now. I'm gonna use the suit to help people, and I'm gonna find that thing that I'm looking for, because their whole thing also is that there's a bounty that is set off that kind of binds all three of them kind of together, where this girl's trying to where it's a scientist who finds this dog over here.
You come from a world of
There's the blonde lady.
rules, of laws. You should not be alone. You need to go.
Him, that he comes in and he has this bounty on his head with it, and he's followed by his faithful dog, something 404, which turns out is dog meat. And dog meat has just been around for a very long, I don't know if it's been around for a very long time, but dog meat's there. And he trains dog meat and all that stuff, and dog meat gets his name from the ghoul. And pretty much this man puts a chip in his neck, and it's like, well, what is that chip? We don't know. But after he gets kind of found out, he has to leave, and that sets his bounty off, where the Brotherhood of Steel go after him. The ghoul who's been locked up in a coffin and been sliced up by some kind of, cartel guy for years on end. He gets released from his coffin, and he goes after the bounty, and this girl is finds him, and after the ghoul shoots off, which it's really funny, because there's a point where Mother's like, oh, so these three are going to be on a team and work together and all this stuff. I'm like, I think I already watched a few episodes ahead. I'm like, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And then it's going to be her, the doctor, the ghoul, and the night guy. And I look around, yeah, that's what's going to happen. And then the ghoul blew off the man's foot. I'm like, oh, God. And I'm like, yeah, no, that was not going to happen. And they give him a leg replacement thing, but even then it's bad. And he's he goes up to Lucy look, here's the thing. I need to get to Moldover. you need to get them all over to get your dad. She's not gonna give you anything without a bargaining chip. And Lucy's trying to be all, Lucy I love because she's so naive and happy and all that stuff. And she's like, no, see, look, we can make it. Trust me. We just with a can-do positive attitude and this we can make it. I believe in you. And then the doctor's like, yeah, I just took cyanide already, so I'm gonna be dead in like a few minutes. She's like, oh, what? And he goes, yeah. Here's a saw. Cut off my head. Take my head to Moldova. Well, it'll work out. Okay. Cuts off the head, puts a tracker up his nose, and pretty much at this point, it's like an idea of tracking down that head for everybody. Maximus takes on Titus's armor. They send another squire for him. Oh, sorry, Maximus does save Lucy at one point. But then pretty much like it's a race to get this head. The characters meeting up and all this stuff. And like it's really done well. Because there's like that's the thing too, like watching, like I never really thought about like a lot of this or different things. But then like when it's revealed, it makes so much goddamn sense. When like there's things like a town that was blown up, Shady Sands, that it was nuked. And that's how Maximus kind of got into the Brotherhood, because he did what do you call it? In Indiana Jones, and hid inside a refrigerator, survived the blast, and like was saved by the Brotherhood, then adopted him, I guess. Yeah, that's when you inject that thing. And there's just so much damn fun that happens in this. Like, it's done so, like, they keep bringing up the Shady Sands place. I'm like, okay. That's kind of I'm like, all right. And, like, I'm like, all right, they keep bringing that. I'm like, oh, yeah, that is a tragedy. Like, we see eventually, like, some of the survivors made it to, like, a Vault 4, which I don't think they... yeah, right here. They kind of bring it up, Vault 4, which is run by scientists. And, like, eventually, like, we've eaten Vault 4, like, there's mutants in there, but then also other people that live there now, too, that were from Shady Sands. And they're kind of crazy, and also the mutants are racist. But then it turns out they're also okay people. I don't know what the hell kind of thing you're trying to say there, Musho. But also, they're run by Jerry from Rick and Morty. Titus or Maximus is like, if I get the head, the Brotherhood will make me a knight. Lucy's like, I get the head, save my father. The Ghoul is like, it was at one point, like towards the very end, I'm like, why is he doing this? Like, why is he after it? Why? Like, I was just thinking, like, why is he still going after the bounty? I'm like, it doesn't make any sense, especially towards the end where he starts killing people at Moldover's place, and you're just like, wait, why is, like, I doubt this is part of the bounty. Like, why the hell would he do all this? And when it's revealed, like, I don't even want to spoil it. But when it's revealed why, it's like, oh shit, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm like, okay, I didn't see that coming. And then when you see other things that are revealed later that connect everyone, it's like, oh shit. One thing I kind of guessed was kind of what was in Vault 31 a little bit. At one point, I kind of was like, okay, I can kind of guess where this one's kind of going when that note. Not the reason why it happened, but like what was kind of in there a little bit toward that one point. I'm like, okay, so if there's a connection with this and that, and then there's questions also like why certain characters are alive at some points, because Goggins is a ghoul. Like, the ghoul lives forever. Like, I'm assuming, like, it's a whole thing about, I guess, radiation or whatnot. And, like, they get mutated, so, like, they live forever as long as they have that drug and don't go zombie. But then there was questions, like, Holdover, when we find out that she's actually, like, 200 years old, too. And it's like, okay, why is she alive? Which we still don't got an answer for that one. And there's just a bunch of different things there. It's really, really good. Also, there's a bunch of deja vu. Huh. There's a bunch of like inside jokes too with certain things. Like at one point where where he was just getting eaten by that thing. Where
What is happening here?
where this guy like where like they they have the junk rocket thing, or this guy like just firing like crazy and missing all of his shots, which immediately I'm like, I was just playing Fallout 4 earlier today and I'm just like, yeah, I did that a lot with red roaches. I'm like, I should just get it. I should just get a stick and just beat the shit out of them. At the point, I'd probably hit more than what the hell I was doing. I was just going bam, 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 bam. I'm like, Jesus. Missed all my shots. But like, there's a bunch of like the squires having these giant backpacks that carry everything in there because that's pretty much what our characters do in the game when we collect all the shit. This show is really good. I don't really want to spoil that much. Just going, I know that it's really good, and like again, I like that's the thing too. Like again, like he's throughout the whole thing with the ghoul and stuff like that. It's to me, I never felt like he's a bad guy. Like yeah, he does some bad things, but like I don't know, he never had that. The best way I could describe it. He gives me Godzilla vibes a bit, like at least MonsterVerse one. Because MonsterVerse Godzilla, he's destructive, he'll destroy a bunch of shit, but he's also doing it to protect the Earth and protect the world. Not saying this man's doing it to protect the world, but when we find out what he is doing this for and what he's trying to protect, that's to me like, oh shit. Like, oh! And I'm like, alright, that makes 100% why he's here. That makes 100% why this is happening. Like, it turns out like he's like the main, like pretty much kind of the main character of all this. And it's very interesting. It's like just everything, like see everything that builds up to the war, because you get flashbacks to the past. All that. It's really good. I highly recommend this show. Like highly, highly recommend. Like I really love that. Like a lot of video game properties are now getting really good. Like they're getting really, really good adaptations, and I'm liking that a lot. They're not just I would say Detective Pikachu, but I'd say Sonic would probably be the better one, where like they went way more into what the game was about, and boom. We're just getting so many good ones, and like honestly, I'm kind of hoping at some point with Fallout taking off, we get like a BioShock show. I feel like you could. I feel like even like after Fallout, you could probably do a BioShock show. Just saying. Especially with stuff like The View and all that now, you could probably easily do that more. But anyways, yeah, this show, good. The practical effects are amazing. This man, I like that he's not typecasted as just the villain, even though, again, like, he's not necessarily a good person, but he is playing, like, he does feel more like a sheriff than just an outlaw, bad outlaw, so even though, yeah, he does do some bad things, you're saying. But, like, I just love his whole aura that he brings. I honestly think he steals the show a lot of the times. Also, the girl who plays Lucy is Jinx from Arcane, so she's in 2 video game shows that are freaking badass as all hell. But yeah, these guys, yeah, this entire thing is so damn. Also, I love. Here's the thing too, and like, there's the thing about shows. If you see someone lose a limb, expect them to get some kind of replacement immediately, because they're not gonna want. The only character who's gonna have a limb that's or a piece of their body that's missing the entire time is the ghoul for his nose. But like, this girl lose her finger and she'll get a new one. Or this guy shot off with a foot and they didn't even want to, like, right there, you can see his foot right there. Or not having a foot right there. Has his foot blown off? Yeah, he's probably gonna get a prosthetic limb. And he does. Even though, like, I'm looking at him like, did you can't just give him a peg leg at that point, but I mean, I don't know, maybe just, I don't know. But just to show the technology, I guess. Or maybe that's also a reference. Or it probably wouldn't be. It probably is, but oh my god, how it like shreds your leg up to so like ugh. But yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend. I highly recommend this. I'm gonna probably watch a video about ghouls now to get my Fallout fix. Maybe play some Fallout 4. I don't know. But thanks for watching. Share videos. Hopefully you enjoyed this. God, oh yeah, here's Shady Sands where he got blown up. This is where he used to live before the bombs hit and destroyed a bunch of but thanks for watching. Share videos. Hopefully you enjoy this. I like this a lot. Tell me what you guys think. And I love vaults and stuff like that, so I'm kind of getting ideas. I already kind of had ideas for something, but I'm getting ideas for other stories too. Like I love the vault idea. But thanks for watching. Everything we will see you later. Yeah, the show's freaking great. Like it is legitimately really, 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 really good. And by God, like is the Fallout armor is so sick. Also another side thing. Dog meat like is just like he switches between following the ghoul to following Maximus and the Squire and all this other stuff, and it all is eventually supposed to. And it all is really cool, really fun, and it's like yeah. And also the Squire put him in a chest. So I'm like, you asshole. At least the ghoul saved him, and like the ghoul's a dog person. I'm like, I love this guy. I love this. Also, I love this armor. I love every time Maximus gets in this armor. It's like just feels so badass. I'm like, God, I love this suit. Just look how he walks in it. Just like, hold on, like you sell like he has like that. Oh, I'm gonna kick some shit in. Like I love this, especially in a world full of craziness. Like when you see characters like eventually like Maximus or Lucy and all that, where it's like yeah, no, this world is madness, but I'm still gonna be a hero. I love that shit. And like the goal too. Again, that's the thing. All three of them have that moment of yeah, I'm gonna be the hero. I gotta step up. I gotta be the hero. I gotta protect this person. I love that shit. Thanks for watching, and we will see you later. All right, so apparently, like I didn't really think about it, but like there's a Vault-Tec phone line from the show, and it was on. It was on YouTube. It was on Twitter, and like all I see in the comments like, oh, that guy's not having a great day. So I'm gonna put this on speaker, and I just wanna hear what the fuck's gonna happen. So like this is the number. So let's just. Operator? Oh. Phone ended. Well, there's that.